Let's try this again. Um, Welcome to the Friday afternoon version of End the Simpademic. And as I promised on my Twitter X account, we are talking about red flags today. And red flag number one, a woman who insists that you be obsessed with them. You don't need to be obsessed with anybody for any reason, way, shape, or form. If a woman is setting this as a criteria, your next job needs to be to run for the hills. And I will say this again. Women expecting men to be obsessed with them, there's nothing to be obsessed with them about. And if you are a man of faith like I am, the only thing you need to be obsessed with is your relationship with God. Just do not fall for this at all. Because if these are the men who do that, they become simps. Groveling at a woman for everything that they can get or for whatever crumbs that they can get from them. So that's number one. Number two is if they have a higher or more inflated sense of themselves, if they call everybody a 10, for example. I'm sorry, if there's a scale of 1 to 10, it's impossible for everybody to be a 10. And that goes for both men and women. If you are interested or looking at somebody who insists that everybody's a 10, who insists that they're a 10, again, it's time to run. Because you are never going to measure up to this type of woman at all. Women by nature are what is called hypergamous. They go for the best type of man that they can possibly find. Right now, 80% of the women are pursuing probably the top 10% of men out there. So if they think that they're a 10, you're never going to measure up to whatever they want. Save the energy and just run for the hills. So that's red flag number 2. Red flag number 3 is if they insist that you buy extravagant gifts for them. The joke right now is that women are going to expect men to buy them a house on their first date. It sounds hilarious, it sounds ridiculous, and it is. But if the expectation, if the level of entry is to have to buy expensive gifts in order to be able to get a relationship, as the Beatles once said, money can't buy you love, and it really can't. If that is their expectation, that's red flag number 3 right there. You need to run like hell and just go away. Block them, ghost them, whatever it takes. Take your energy away from that type of a person and away from that type of a woman. So that's 3 big red flags right there. I could probably think of another 10. And if you can, feel free to drop them in the comments there and just let me know. And let me know if there's any others that you can think of. I just haven't taken a whole lot of time. I've been working all day, so I've not taken a whole lot of time to be able to think of a whole list of them. But those are the 3 biggest ones I could think of just off the top of my head. So anyway, this is just something that I will add a 4th real quick. Do not go where you're not wanted. If they're going to play games with you if they're playing games with you and making you chase, you're really not wanted. That's red flag number 4. Men should not go where they're not wanted. Again, men who fall into this trap will become the simps. And I am here to end the simpidemic. Because these women are not the prize. Again, if they think they're perfect 10s, they're not. It's impossible for all women to be perfect 10s. And again, most women are hypergamous. We have 80% of the women these days pursuing the top 10% of men. They are going for the Chads. They are going for the Tyrones. They're going for the men that will give them excitement. The other thing, I had a couple more here while I've got the camera here. And number 4 red flag is, how long was your last relationship? Ask that question right out the gate. If it was less than 6 months, that's a red flag right there. Red flag number 5 is another question. How did your last relationship come to an end? How have most of your relationships come to an end? If the longest relationship is 6 months, and if they have a long history of breakups, I got a newsflash for you. Guess what? You're next. So just do not go for these type of women at all. Again, ghost them, block them, do what you have to do. You have no need for this type of woman at all. So, again, end the simpademic. These women do not deserve this type of validation. They do not deserve that type of attention. If any of these women fall into any of these 6 red flags, and again, if you can think of any more, please put them in the comments. I would definitely most appreciate that, because I'm sure a lot of you could contribute to this in a substantial manner. So, just going to leave it at that, and I'm just going to call this one good for the day. It's a shorter version and a shorter episode, but I believe I got to the point on this one. Red flags. Let's end the simpademic, boys. And we will be talking to you tomorrow on Saturday.